Let's talk about the role of the black intelligentsia, and I bring that to bring into context Cornel West. I've read a lot of articles where you, Reverend Al Sharpton, Melissa Harris Perry, and others were criticized as quote-unquote defenders of the Obama administration. In fact, words like sold their souls and so forth were used to describe you. Can you put in context, do you think there is a misunderstanding of the role of the black intelligentsia in the Obama era in terms of what you do, what Cornel West does, and what the others do?
Cornel West was my teacher. He signed my dissertation at Princeton. For him to go on TV and call me a sellout was extremely painful. And I didn't notice him using that kind of vicious criticism against Clinton when he was in the Clinton White House. I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
In his own book, he talks about staying up late one night with Hillary and with the daughter, Chelsea, in the Oval Office talking about his book, Race Matters. Ain't nobody hating on you when you did it.
That's right. Exactly.
So why you got to now all of a sudden, because you were in decline and on the outs. Right? See, when an R&B singer quits at the top of his craft to serve Jesus, that's one thing.
Come on now.
When you ain't hitting no more and all of a sudden you get converted, I got a little question. I ain't saying it ain't real, but converting in prison is one thing. Converting when you're at the top of your skills is another.
That's right.
So I think it's rather interesting. It's not that you don't have, there's no legitimate criticism. How are you going to call me a sellout against Obama? You've heard the stuff I said the other day. I'm barely a sellout, but I'm balancing my critique. I'm not going to call the man names. West said he wanted to slap Obama upside his head. What the hell is wrong with you, sir?
That's right. That's right.
Don't you get the history of attacks on black bodies?
That's right.
That you would never do? Let me give you an example. When my book on Bill Cosby came out, the first version that they presented to me was a, C-O-S-B-Y, and in the old they had Cosby's face, and then they had his head like, a tea kettle going. I said, heck no. I am never going to challenge the integrity physically of another black human being.
That's right.
Even for the sake of selling books, because it signifies lynching and murder and stabbing and hurting, and I'm not with that.
Right.
The white brothers and sisters who were with, oh, we don't say, I said, but I see it.
Right.
So I'm not going to stand by this. My book with my name, that's what I stand
That's
for.
right. That's right.
So when West goes, I wanted to slap him upside his head, slow down. And when he calls him he calls Sharpton a plantation Negro. He says that I sold my soul for the sake of Obama access. I've been critical of Obama all along.
That's right.
I stood there and said Obama's not Pharaoh, but not Moses, but Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to call Obama names because he's still a black man.
That's
He's still a human being.
That's right.
And I don't notice, Cornel West, Jesus ever calling anybody names. And then I don't notice Martin Luther King Jr., even when you get the wire tapes, he didn't say these crackers over here are crazy.
That's right. That's right.
Even on the record, right? Even on the telephone.
That's right.
Right? That would be the difference between me and Dr. Adams. Now, Dr. Adams' FBI tapes, all clean. Me, not so much. Right? Now, here's my point, though. Martin Luther King Jr. at the height of white supremacy never demonized even white people who murdered black people in the way that Cornel West has attacked both Obama and Melissa Harris Perry. He's done some unprincipled stuff with Melissa, talking about her tenure file at Princeton. That is not only immoral, it may be illegal, right, to discuss those situations. Coming at me, I'm a big boy. Don't bark up that tree might bark on you. That tree might fall on you. So I kept my powder because I know he's egging for a fight because, again, he said all the Negroes on MSNBC are sellouts, and then Martin Bashir told me he kept calling them trying to get on the show. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. So my point is simply this. It's unfortunate that an incredibly gifted man like Cornel West with a legacy that was astonishing has in his later days declined with such ignoble gracelessness that he has descended into the valley of name calling as opposed to the superior arguments that can be made to persuade human beings that their practices are wrong. So I'm saying this and then I'll be quiet, then you come back. So for me, it's not that you can't be critical, because I have been. It's not that you can't say things. Look, I said it to Obama to his face. I was in the White House, in the East Room, and Tom Joyner said, Dr. Dyson, I cannot believe that you're going to write a book against Obama. Obama's sitting right across from me, literally. And Tom Joyner said, I can't believe you're going to write a book that is critical of the president in the year that he's running again. And I said, are you Nostradamus? Because I ain't wrote the book yet. So, number one. Number two, since you Nostradamus, how many books I'm gonna sell so I can know how much I'm gonna get? And then Obama started laughing. Obama said, yeah, and he's sitting up here eating my food. But I'm Mike Dyson. You ain't good as me. So I shot back, paid for it by tax money. I said, and based on that, I'm gonna be here next week. He laughs, because Obama got a good sense of humor. You talked to Obama one-on-one, he said, how you doing, Mr. President? I'm cool, I'm just trying to represent. That's what he said. Now, I wish he could show some of that in public, but here's my point. To his face, I said, I disagree. And he said, Dyson disagrees with me. I can take that. That's principal criticism. He said, what I don't like is when people calling me, I don't love black people, and calling me names. Now, we know who he was talking about. Because I said to his face that day in the White House, on the record, it's in a book now by, I forget his name, I'll remember it in a little while, Jonathan Alter, in the second book, where I said, you know, that if you go to the emergency ward, you don't get medicine. You get medicine targeted towards your ill. If you have a hangnail, you get aspirin. If you have cancer, you get chemotherapy. If you have diabetes, you get insulin. So I said, Mr. President, your notion of a rising tide lifts all boats to me doesn't address the specificity of the argument and the need for medicine directed toward particular people.
That's right.
He said, I agree. Okay, that's fine. I disagree. I believe this be universal, but I'm not calling him names. I ain't dogging him out. I ain't talking about his mama or anything like that. Whereas Wes wants to get in there because part of it is, you know, there's a kind of displacement feeling among some Negroes that believe that had Obama not risen to the degree he has, black people wouldn't be so in love with Obama, and they are. You got to deal with that. That's just the reality.
That's right.
Black folk love Obama.
Yes, we do.
That's good. And they love Obama, and you got to acknowledge that. And you got to understand why they love Obama. Now, even if you disagree with that, you got to understand that. I understand that. And I happen to love him myself. But I also have criticism for him. But it's not vicious criticism. It's not nasty criticism. It's what I said today. Critical thought. I'm not going to take it because you're the president. Let me engage you. He talks to me. He disagrees with me. We go back and forth. That's different than being called a sellout, because now we want to use our skills in deployment for the defense of Obama without defending black people. Obama is a black person, but he's not all black people. Black people are more precious than any individual black person we could represent, that we could generate, and I understand that. So I think that Cornel West is, you know, and I'm writing something on it now, and you'll see more about that when it comes out. I think it's an unfortunate decline. I think he feels displaced. I think he feels marginal, and I think he feels that somehow he's got to do anything, get arrested in Ferguson to get back in the paper.